Welcome to the show, guys. Hey there, business owners, directors, and marketeers. In today's show, I'm meeting Tomasz Pindel, and he is with Voucherify. And basically, Thomas has been a leader and product manager in his sort of career so far. He's very experienced in lean software delivery, and he really strives for simplicity and pragmatic when going about developing software. So him and his team, they're building an API-first platform for promotional campaigns. And we're going to be jumping into what that all means in details in just a second. So, Thomas, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Lucas.
Very, very cool. So give me a rundown. What are you guys doing? What is the company all about?
Yeah, so Voucherify is a product founded by a company called Perspective, and it is API-first software as a service platform, which basically helps digital teams to build personalized sales promotions. What does it mean? So basically, it means that you can build campaigns faster and in a really flexible way, thanks to the Voucherify, by using our API-first promotion engine. What does it mean, API-first? So in general, it means that if you want to fully leverage our functions and capabilities of Voucherify promotion engine, you have to make an integration with our API. First of all, through which you are sending a data feed based on which we are able to evaluate promotion rules. And secondly, through that API, we are able to return to your selling funnels like websites, mobile applications, e-commerce sites. Through that API, we are able to return to you an information whether a coupon code might be applied by a particular customer, or through that API, we can also trigger some loyalty points if you are running loyalty program in Voucherify. So this is how it works in general. And Voucherify helps clients like SIG, Verivox, Bloomberg Queen, Satchiart, John Lewis to create discount codes, in-cart promotions, vouchers, gift cards, loyalty and referral programs.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, what types of clients you're working with. Maybe, and since you mentioned a couple of them already, could you maybe tell us a little bit about the types of verticals and maybe the types of roles that usually would be, discovering and starting to use Voucherify?
Sure. So, frankly speaking, we offer our service to clients from really different segments. So you can find in our portfolio small, medium-sized companies like, for instance, startups from Berlin, let's say GetGroover, Wundertax, Buga Tiger. They are mainly e-commerce marketplace players, but also in our portfolio, we find bigger customers, enterprise-level customers, like mentioned John Lewis or Bloomberg Queen. And if it comes when it comes to roles, usually the best customer, best contact for us is a software developer, tech leader, or product manager, because those guys, they understand technology, they know how to quickly use API first promotion engine. However, nowadays, basically the awareness of marketing guys is really on high level if it comes to technology. So all those guys like retention marketing specialists, retention managers, loyalty managers, CRM managers, they understand that actually technology is really important in building a proper experience to the end customer, in building a proper loyalty engine. And they also usually start the conversation with us. And at some point after a proper introduction, basically simply they are forwarding tech discussion to the tech guys. But if it comes to requirements, usually those requirements are coming from marketers.
Gotcha. It was very interesting. You mentioned those two types of customers or two types of people that are, seeing a lot of benefit in there. The tech leads who might be bringing it in from a tech angle, and the retention marketeers or whoever in that sort of spectrum of roles. Since this is two potentially different types of customer types, what would be a typical user journey that somebody's going through to discover, identify voucher? Is there certain channels that you're focusing on, or how do you think about that?
So frankly speaking, we are mainly focused on building content and optimizing search engine results. So frankly speaking, like almost 100% of our traffic is coming from the search. And basically our potential customers, they are landing mainly on our blog and product website. And from those channels, basically, we drive them to the first moment of signing up to the free trial and then to the paid service. So that's the main journey they are passing. However, nowadays we are really aware that one channel is not the best approach. We actually need some fallbacks, and we have to test other channels. Therefore, we play around with some other possibilities, but now at the current stage, mainly testing. There is no like second solid channel which we prefer to do, but we believe that in 2020 it must change, and we will probably introduce something else.
Got you. Any channels that you're kind of looking at to be interesting?
So frankly speaking, probably it's going to be LinkedIn and ads on LinkedIn, because we are B2B company. We are really focused on getting contacts from professionals, from guys really in technology. So LinkedIn might be one channel. We also were thinking about Stack Overflow and really domain typical services and ads there, because obviously person who understands the best API first approach is a software developer. So it might be worth to go there and look for leads. However, on the other hand, usually requirements for marketing tools doesn't come from software developers. So from the very beginning, it was really tricky for us how to properly design our ideal client, the perfect persona for building content. And frankly speaking, we started 3 years ago, and we're still struggling with that, because we have to find a balance between both roles: marketer, who is a source of real requirements and business use cases, and developer who understand actually how this API first approach works.
Super interesting challenge, and I can totally see that. What role does then the website play into this? Because I'm assuming your website is key to the business. You're driving traffic to it through the content. Can you tell me a little bit about the role of the website and how it plays into your overall sort of marketing mix or setup?
Yeah, so as you said, the website is critical here, and current version, because we did a lot of A/B tests over this year, and current version is, I would say, more tailored to product managers and software developers. However, definitely from the beginning of next year, we are going to run another set of tests, A/B tests, and some other testing, basically in order to get a bit more from traffic coming from typical marketing person. So we are changing a lot this site. We are changing a lot the content there, and it's really hard to actually identify the proper one. And as I said, now it's focused mainly on this angle where we have software developers and product managers. But from the beginning of the next year, probably we are going to create two separate channels. You will first of all have to tell us somehow in which area we are, from which area you are coming from, and then based on that, we are going to drive you through the website.
Really good. I noticed one thing that I discussed with a couple of SaaS founders so far, which is you have a demo button and you have a free trial button on the website. What's the reason for them both being on the page? And do you have actually a focus on one or the other? It's just a very interesting sort of discussion that emerged over a couple of interviews by now.
Yeah, so true. It's really interesting, because actually a lot of guys and kind of consultants, people who are looking at our funnel, they are actually asking us and encouraging us for removing a free trial. But from the very beginning, when we started, actually this free trial was the main source for us of knowledge, of feedback, based on which we could build our first functionalities, basically iterate over the product concepts. And somehow we are still using that feedback for developing further. Frankly speaking, when it comes to our current base of customers, majority of the customers is from the enterprise level. So enterprise level, like paying more than a few thousands of euro per month. Those are not sales service customers. So this second angle, which usually comes from free trial. So this sales service segment is lower for us than enterprise level segment. So this is why we keep both still, but probably maybe in the long run we are going to remove this free trial button and somehow reduce the cost and operations needed for handling those self-service customers. However, still the ratio between both the revenue coming from enterprise level and self-service customers is kind of on the same level. It's not higher it's higher on enterprise segment, but still too close to say and decide that actually we should close the free trial self-service path and just focus on enterprise level customers. So this is why we still keep both. But yeah, the main focus of company is on building and acquiring an enterprise prospects and working with them, really close collaboration, because technically and functionally tool is really advanced. So actually, unfortunately, it's not usually that you spend 30 seconds, 1 minute to set up the whole thing, because all depends on data feed which you are sending to Voucherify. There is so many factors which are impacting this usage of the tool. So as I said, onboarding is not really easy. It takes days, sometimes even months. So in general, the customer journey is really tricky. We have to spend a lot of time on onboarding, advising and guiding, giving some hints how to properly use Voucherify.
Got you. One last question on the website before we sort of slowly coming to an end and talking about you as a founder a little bit. The one last question I would have is then, in terms of metrics on the website, what would be maybe the 1 or 2, 3 key metrics that you really care about, that are, giving you a sign of success, or where you would want to change things?
So yeah, first of all, obviously the time spent by our prospect on the website. So that's the critical part, because we also believe that next to all these guidance which we do one by one when we are working with a lead, with a prospect, we also believe that basic knowledge and basic understanding of the service should be taken from our website, and also all resources which we are exposing to prospects and customers. So there is a lot of guides showing our user interface, technical documentation. Also now we are working on a project which is called CRM Tech Academy. So we are going to be a kind of advocate for CRM managers who are willing to learn more tech and understand how to use API first approach for building a proper CRM setup. Yep. So this is all important for us to measure how much time they spend on the website, and actually if they are getting the particular and really necessary knowledge for them from that website. And secondly, conversion, obviously. So how many people are converting into the free trial, and ultimately then at the end of the journey to the paid plans.
Yep, makes total sense. Very, very interesting. Okay, so to slowly start off, like wrapping up our interview, it's been super, super interesting to what you guys do, what you're focusing on. I would love to learn a little bit about you as a founder as well. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about how you got that first, second, third customer. Like, what was that like? What did you do? How did you get them?
Mm-hmm. So actually, obviously we wanted to, from the very beginning, we wanted to be lean, and we wanted to start slowly. And we are bootstrap company. So we, next to Voucherify, we have our Perspective, which is a software house, which obviously is still operating and giving us great revenue. And thanks to this revenue, actually, we can work on Voucherify. Even Voucherify itself is already profitable business. So the beginning was really hard, because we had to share some time between Voucherify and Perspective. Obviously, at the beginning, before we acquired the first customer, I also had some hours at Perspective to handle projects there and so on and so forth. So it was really tricky from the very beginning. And frankly speaking, that was the mistake which we did, because we knew that we want to focus on developers at the very beginning. We want to focus on tech guys, because it will be easier for us to talk to those guys, to show them the product. But frankly speaking, obviously, we didn't follow that rule, because the first prospect, the first lead which arrived, was non-technical at all. He had some, requirements really far away from the original pipeline of the development for that product. Yeah. But yes, it was a really hot lead for us. It was really close to finalize that prospect. So we decided to change a bit and pivot for a few steps on the right, and actually add those functions which were requested by that guy. I'm not saying that it was a wrong decision, but probably I would change that approach and more focus on our strategy and on our idea of having an ideal customer. So that was the one thing which I would change. However, yes, nevertheless, from the very beginning, once we got that customer, we were listening a lot to our customers. We were changing a lot the software, but still we were trying to follow as much as possible our DNA. And DNA was that we are technical guys. We know how to do technology. So first of all, on the first place, we always put developer, product manager who understands technology and basically needs a flexible tool, extendable tool, which gives him a possibility to achieve almost everything. And they don't usually want to go on shortcuts and just get, a solution which tells them how to fully implement their ideal use case. So the flexibility and this tech flavor was very beginning for us from the very beginning. But nevertheless, we were listening to customers, we were iterating. And yes, obviously at the beginning when we were acquiring the first customers, we were changing a lot, but sometimes I have to say that it wasn't the best approach.
Very good. Very good. Thanks for sharing that insight. I think this is where a lot of founders are sitting at that, how much are you accommodating those requirements that are diverging a little bit from your key focus, but then on the other hand, it might open other doors and a perspective on the product that you hadn't had before. So very, very, very cool. Tomasz, I really appreciate that you took the time today, walk us through what you guys are doing, telling us a little bit about how you're thinking about growth and what you've learned in building up the company. So thanks for being part of this episode today.
Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for having me here. And yeah, hopefully hear you soon.